The Courtier. Vikramaditya again dragged Betaal down from the tree again. As they set off for their journey, Betaal began his story. Long ago, King Punyabrata ruled the vast kingdom of Manikapur. The king was loved by his people for he was kind-hearted and wise. Punyabrata was a brave king. He had won many kingdoms with his clever strategies and bravery in the battlefield. He was also a passionate hunter. The king often enjoyed riding into the forests near his kingdom in search of rabbits, pigeons, and deer. One day, he lost his way while chasing a beautiful spotted deer in the forest. The deer had managed to escape. The king strolled in the forest for hours but could not find the way. It was beginning to get dark. He grew hungry, thirsty, and tired. Frustrated, he got down from his horse and sat under a tree. When suddenly he saw someone coming towards him with a small lamp in his hand. The alert king grabbed the hilt of his sword. He was ready to put up a fight. But then the king realized it was a young man who had come to help him. The young man said, "I believe your majesty has lost his way." The king replied, "You are right." The young man spoke again, "I have brought some food and water. Please eat and rest. We shall find the way out of this forest tomorrow." And the young man made his humble offering to the king. The king ate and then lay down under the tree. When the king got up next morning, he noticed that the young man had been awake all night. He had been guarding the king. The king was impressed with the young man's service. The king asked, "What is your name?" The young man replied, "Pratap, your majesty." Then the king offered, "Would you like to be in my service as one of my courtiers?" Pratap agreed and was overjoyed. They finally crossed the forest and reached the royal palace. From then on, Pratap remained in the palace as one of the courtiers. Days passed. Pratap was happy and content. One morning, he decided to visit the forest where he had met the king for the first time. Suddenly, he spotted a very beautiful girl. He fell in love instantly. He wished to marry her. The girl was not sure about the proposal. She said, "Come back tomorrow and I will let you know what I have decided." Pratap dreamt about her all night. In the morning, he went to the king and told him everything. The kind king agreed to go with Pratap to the forest. They reached the forest and found the girl was waiting for them. But when she saw the king, her expressions changed. She bowed to the king and said, "I had not hoped to see your majesty here. Please marry me and make me your queen." Pratap said, "Your majesty, even though I wish to marry this woman, she is fit to be your queen. If your majesty wishes to take this woman for his wife, I shall happily sacrifice my love." The king was pleased by his courtier's devotion. He turned to the girl and said, "Fair lady, this young man has fallen in love with you. I cannot marry a woman who has been chosen by one of my courtiers. Pratap has always been faithful to me. As his wife, you can enjoy luxuries as both of you would be living in the royal palace." The wedding was arranged and Pratap and the girl were married amidst a big feast. From then on, they lived happily ever after. It was time for Betaal to ask his question. "Tell me, who was more noble? Was it the king or his courtier?" he asked. King Vikramaditya answered, "Both the king and his courtier were equally noble." While Pratap was willing to sacrifice his love for the king's sake, the king refused the proposal because his courtier had chosen the girl for himself. But I should say, the king's act qualifies as greater, because being the supreme ruler, he could have easily married the girl. This shows the high regards he had for moral values. It suits a king. Betaal freed himself and began gliding with the wind towards the tree.